Hello, it's a great pleasure to have you here with me, and today you're going to have the opportunity to learn how to treat sewage and better still, turn it into crystal clear water again. My name is Jonas Rodrigo, and I'm responsible for developing a sewage treatment system that turns domestic sewage into crystal clear water again. I'm an environmental engineer and I've installed more than 150 treatment systems all over Brazil, ranging from systems that treat just one home to systems that treat more than 100,000 liters of sewage a day. All of this was only possible thanks to my extensive experience in the field, as it was the only way I was able to unravel the mysteries and secrets of sewage treatment, and today I can develop treatment systems for any size. And my focus here is to give you the key to the secrets of sewage treatment, so that you can learn everything I know and replicate the sewage treatment system model. And so that we don't waste too much time here, it's good that you know who this type of treatment is for and who everything I've prepared here is for. Well, first of all, it's obviously for all those who don't have a sewage system or some kind of sewage treatment system installed. It is also intended for those people who want to treat all the effluent, the sewage generated in the house, in a single piece of equipment. Whether it's gray water, which is water produced in the laundry, shower, or kitchen sink, or even black water, which is water produced, sewage in fact produced in toilets. So you can mix and treat all this in the same treatment system. It is also intended for those people who have a cesspit already in place, a cesspit that has no treatment whatsoever, that famous hole in the ground, the black cesspit, where sewage is thrown without any treatment whatsoever. And this cesspit fills up very quickly and you end up spending a lot of money calling in a truck to remove the sewage, not to mention all the inconvenience every time a truck goes to remove the bad odors, smells, and dirt everywhere. So if you want to eliminate this from your property, you can learn this system and replace the cesspit with a treatment system. And also, if you want to eliminate the cesspit because of the risk of having one, because it's very easy, I've seen several cases, for the lid to collapse inwards and cause complete damage to your garden, apart from when there's the risk of someone being up there and the whole thing collapsing. This photo you're looking at now, I even took it myself at a birthday party, including a child's, a while back, where during the party the pit collapsed inwards. Thankfully, no children were on top and everyone got out okay, but it's important to remember that black cesspools are usually built in a very archaic way, so to speak, and they can end up collapsing completely inwards, putting you, your family, and any animals you may have on the property at risk. So you have to be very careful. And this system, of course, can be replaced by a treatment system that doesn't pose any risk in this sense. If you also have a lot of cockroaches, insects, or flies in your house, you can be sure that this type of insect could be breeding in your black cesspit. Of course, you may even have a plug, a screen, or something in the vent, but be aware that they enter through the pipe and end up in a drain inside your house. So it's important to replace your black cesspit either with the system you're about to learn from me or with another sewage treatment system, but it's important that you replace it and don't have a black cesspit at home. This is because you're polluting the environment because of the risk of it collapsing and because of the risk of your family being contaminated by the insects that proliferate inside. This system is also for those who want ecological sewage treatment, for those who are interested in the subject and want to know more, and for those who want water at the end of treatment that can even be used for irrigation. And finally, if you want to use this project to install it on other properties, in other homes, and even make good money from it, you can. Now that you know who this type of treatment is for, you should know that I wasn't always an expert in sewage treatment. A few years ago, I was just like you are today, looking for an alternative to solve the sewage problem and not finding one that suited me. I studied environmental engineering and had access to professors with a lot of experience and content, but none of them knew how to help me implement a treatment system in my home. So I looked for a lot of information on the internet and found some things that were no use to me. Honestly, at the time, I'd already given up on installing my own system, and I even looked for alternatives to ready-made systems that you can buy, such as cesspools, septic tanks, biological filters. But when I came across the prices, I almost fell over and decided to give up on this alternative because I saw that it wouldn't be the smartest decision to make. That's when I rolled up my sleeves and decided to literally get down to work and build my own system. Obviously, the first things I built didn't work properly. They didn't work very well. I wasted time, I wasted money. But over time, I kept replacing, changing the system, modifying, keeping what worked, replacing what went wrong until I arrived at a system that worked. And this system didn't just work in the end, it was the king of systems, because it managed to turn the rotten sewage in the house into completely clear water again. And in the end, this system was so efficient that it even received an award from the National Water Agency. I was called to Brasilia to present this treatment method at a lecture, where I received an honorable mention for the development of sewage treatment systems aimed at caring for our country's water. After that, I also gave an article and interview to Global Rural, and more than 100 articles were published on various national and international media channels. This system has grown so much and gained so much recognition for three main reasons. The first is the simplicity of installation. Secondly, the very low cost of installation. And finally, the extremely high treatment efficiency. After all this, it's time for you to have access to all the projects, technical drawings, and detailed guidance on the whole system so that you can install it in your home. And after a lot of thought about how this could be conveyed to you in a didactic way, I decided that the best way would be to write a book. And that book is called Treating Domestic Sewage with Plants. And look at it. Yes, the system that turns domestic sewage into crystal clear water again uses plants to filter it. If there is a system that is simpler to implement, cheaper, and as efficient as this, I really don't know about it. But Jonas, this system that uses plants to treat sewage has been around for many years, and I agree with you, and I confess that it's even been around for dozens of years. But I very much doubt that any system, including any treatment system that uses plants, would be as efficient and simple to implement as this one. Even the proper sequence of plants, the type of filter used, and how to build the first tank that will retain the solid materials I developed are completely different from anything else I've seen out there. And that's why this system gives such excellent results, transforming sewage into crystal clear water. But with a second alternative in mind, I wrote the book Evapotranspiration Tank. It's a system that also uses plants, but there are some slightly different construction methods, and in this case, this system will only treat the effluent generated in the toilets. I've also written a third book called Treating Domestic Sewage and Pig Waste with Plants. Of course, this one is aimed more at rural areas, for those who want to treat the sewage generated in the house together with the pig waste, all in the same system, and again turn it into crystal clear water. Oh, and on top of all that, I prepared the Global Rural article, including the archive of the Global Rural article, which shows all the construction details of the system step by step, detail by detail. Although all the books I've mentioned also show step by step, the technical drawings, the measurements, everything in the greatest possible detail and in a very didactic way, so that you can really learn how to treat the sewage in your home. It's very important to know that the last time I made these materials available was in 2001. And I don't always make them available because I have to worry about other projects that I build and develop myself. So sometimes I open up and allow people to buy these materials. The next time this will happen, I really don't know, and I also don't know if it will ever be made available. All I know is that you have an opportunity right now to have access to all these materials so that you can learn from me. But now I have a question for you. Have you ever stopped to think about how much all these materials would be worth? With all that practical knowledge put into them, with all that time spent, a college degree invested, several systems installed that didn't work until you got to the right treatment system that passed all the limits of the existing systems that really turned sewage into crystal clear water, have you ever thought about how much this type of material costs? Look, I've done some basic calculations and I've been able to define how much this is worth, which is $1,200, but of course you're never going to pay that amount here, because my objective is different. It's really to bring this kind of information to you at a very low cost so that you can acquire it and implement it. And above all, I never want you to buy anything that you don't like once you've had access to it. Even though I know about the quality of these materials, if you buy them and for some reason think that they're not right for you, that this type of material isn't suitable for you, you can request a refund within 7 days, and this will be done automatically and immediately. So if you really want to be part of this team of people who are going to treat your home sewage, you can buy all these materials today for just $57.70, or even pay in up to 6 installments of $11.15. Honestly, sometimes it hurts a little to know that I'm providing all this for such a low price. But while it's a start, At the same time, I know that it's going to help a lot of people, and I'm happy to be able to contribute. It's very important to know that these materials are all digital, and as soon as your payment is confirmed, you'll receive them in your email. If you pay by credit card, you'll have access straight away. If you pay by boleto, it can take up to 72 hours for access to be sent to your email. Look, honestly, if I were you, if I had ready-made material so that I could study and immediately implement a system that would really work, I would definitely buy it because I know how difficult it is to try to develop and pursue this on your own. And yet, as I said earlier, these materials can go out of print at any time when I have to dedicate myself more to my projects. Sewage treatment projects. So I suggest you don't waste any more time. Click on the button below so you can get all these materials at a very low cost right away.